roundtable, and obviously I was happy to. And I've also got Jennifer Bogomil and Briar Carrier here from my team because they're the ones that are actually doing the buying these days when it comes to general merchandise. I just wanted to kind of start off by asking people about, hopefully you were able to attend Paula's presentation yesterday, and if there was any like follow-up on what she had presented, because I thought there was a lot of interesting things. One in particular I was thinking about is, and I was hoping, I don't see Tracy from Sunyanta or Rick from IC, but I was hoping, because I see they've been doing that mystery box that she's been, that Paula presented yesterday. And I'm just wondering if anybody else has tried something similar to that and how's it worked?
I haven't tried it, but it looks really interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but I don't think I'm that kind of consumer. I like to see what I'm buying versus getting surprised on what's in the box. But
it looked like it was like you could, the one that Paula put up yesterday, it looked like it was, you could choose from like different boxes, but it kind of gave you an idea of a little bit of what was in it. Like it might be, but you didn't know what color, you didn't know, but like you picked by size. But it looked like it, like one could have a hat and a shirt in it, but it didn't really tell you exactly what you were getting, but it just looked like, at least I don't know, I didn't go back and look at her slides, but it looked like one had like a hat, a shirt, or this, but you could pick by small, medium, and large. Did anybody else catch that, or am I seeing things?
I think it was by size. So it was like all large shirts and a hat or whatever. I thought it was really cool. My son goes to Ithaca and I think I noticed it, but I didn't order it because he's real picky about what he wants.
Same here. Yeah, exactly. I like to see the design. Yeah, I know my size, but I definitely like to see the design and the color options that I'm getting. So, but I thought it was interesting. And especially if, I think she had mentioned that some of the schools were using it as an option to unload some of their clearance, which I guess if you've got stock and clearance that you really want to get rid of at a good price, I guess that's one way to do it. So I thought the whole idea behind it was quite interesting. I was just wanting to hear if anybody had done it and if they're actually selling. I'm assuming they must be with the variety of schools that have done it, and it's caught on. I think just having some general discussion around general merchandise is good, but there was a couple of things that I kind of wanted to focus on. I know we did, what's hot yesterday with Paula, but kind of talking about inventory in general. Like through this pandemic, how have you been managing your inventory differently? Because I know with Jen and Briar, we have a pretty large warehouse where we would normally, try to backstock some things for a little while, and where we're kind of working on a just in time, type of thing now, because inventory is typically one of your largest expenses for the store after labor, and we're just trying to really lower our inventory on hand because we are seeing less sales, across the board, especially since a lot of our brick and mortar stores, our branch stores, are closed, and we only have three out of our 8 stores open at this time. So we're really just trying to manage inventory in general. I'm just wondering if anybody has any ideas of what they've done that they would like to share in that area.
Well, I would say I have definitely cut back ordering, trying to move the product that I do have. Although the just in time hasn't been working for me because I have found well, shot glasses have been selling like you wouldn't believe. And I did a reorder and they sent them in with the wrong design. I don't know. So it was like, well, that didn't work. And then I was checking on another order and it was like, they were backlogged at the manufacturer, but they never reached out to tell me. So that's been kind of an issue, and sort of with also the inventory backlog. I find our semester is ending at after the end of our fiscal year, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to deal with that. Because stuff will be. I won't have a commencement sale if we have a physical commencement until after close of. So it's like if I'm inventorying up for that, that's going to skew my year-end figures as well. So
one thing that we did that in the summer is we put we had a bunch of old like t-shirts, like School of Social Work, or $5, or lacrosse sports shirts. We took the time to put all that stuff on the website, even socks and the smallest of items. And I sent it out to our L list, which is our staff internal faculty list, as well as putting it online. But people were buying that stuff, because it was like an online sale, and it was a pain in the neck to get all those small items on there, but it really paid off.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just have a permanent sale rack right now, and we're also moving to a new system, so we want to get rid of some of these old SKUs because we don't want to bring them over if we have a really small quantities. But it helped a lot.
Kathy, if you don't mind me asking, what system are you on, and what system are you going to?
We are on Sequoia, and I'm not sure if it's public knowledge yet.
Oh, okay.
Where we're going, it should be in a couple of weeks, but.
Okay, great. I know at Cornell, we've done the same thing in different categories that we didn't really normally have a big online presence, like our health and beauty items, toilet paper, even shampoo, toothpaste that we wouldn't normally have had online. We've added a lot of those products, and we have seen sell through once we've added those products. So yeah, just really adding different categories to the website that we haven't normally had online is what we've done. Has anybody else added any different to really pump up their online sales, especially if your stores, your brick and mortars have been closed and you're just seeing less traffic in general in your stores?
yeah. Ann Fitzgerald had a comment she wanted to make.
Oh,
Hi.
Hi,
I should turn on my video. Hi, here I am. I was curious, when you're dealing with old merchandise or even things like health and beauty gym, and you're putting it up on the website, this may be a very elementary question, but how do you get photos of all this stuff? Because I'm using a lot of web images from vendors for my new stuff, and it looks really sharp because everything's like white background, and so my website's looking pretty clean right now. And whenever I take pictures, no matter what I do, I'm definitely not a photographer like Photoshopper. It always ends up looking sort of gray in the background. Do you guys have equipment?
We rely on a lot of vendor shots as well, but for those items that, like for the smaller vendors that we get products from, we have a student that we actually have hired then, and we have just like a little light box in our main store, especially for small items. For clothing items, it's a little bit more difficult, especially if you're shooting it on a bust. But yeah, mugs, we've hired a student. I know Jen's done a lot of shots herself. I've done shots for certain things. I know first thing in the pandemic, we had done a One Cornell t-shirt that we sold as a fundraiser for a fund here on campus that would help lower income students. And I literally had laid a white tablecloth out on my floor just to get that white background. And I mean, the t-shirt wasn't on a bust, but you folded it nicely and just tried to make it look as best as you can, get out those wrinkles, and I did that right in my house with my iPhone. And the pictures, typically with the iPhones that you have these days, they're large enough to use on your website if you have got certain image sizes that you need for your website.
I think my biggest problem is the background, even if I do it on white. I think I'm struggling with the lighting. And we had a box years ago, and I think I need to go on a treasure hunt around campus, figure where that went. Thanks.
And lighting is key too. I mean, trying to get the shadows right. The best that I found, like if I was in a room that I'm here right now, you get the angle of the lights if you just have, but I have a sunroom that I laid and you have kind of light from all angles, and it really just got the lighting right for that. So I just kept looking around for the best spot.
Like health and beauty too. I know Breyer worked with, we actually used a lot of like images that we searched online for like health and beauty items. That's what we were able to use just for those type things too. So if you're at like school supplies, health and beauty, even some of the larger, like we carry some brand name like Ray-Bans and Fjallraven bags, we were able to use the web images from the vendor sites or just like a Google search that met the criteria, and it was like a professional type photo.
Sandy commented in the chat that that's what they've done is search the web images. I've done the same thing. And I did buy a pretty inexpensive, maybe $25 light box on Amazon that you could put up with different backgrounds, different felts in the background, because you can't have a white background if you're shooting a white mug. And it also came with lights. So that has certainly helped as well.
Yeah, I think you can definitely find them fairly expensive online, and they're pretty mobile too. If you've got, because I know ours tends to move all the time between our warehouse and our main store, depending on where we're needing to shoot the products.
We did.
I have a quick question, and then I'll shut up. Where do you get your health and beauty stuff?
We have some distributors. I know we've worked with some local, there's a company called Finger Lakes Soap Company, that works out for us because there's a lot of different, and I'm sure probably in your area, there's a local soap company. And then we've just found lines through distributors. Jen, I don't know, or Breyer, what are the major distributors that we've used or have used? I mean, Breyer's probably most familiar with our health and beauty at this point.
For more of like the more popular like name brand, I've been going through EC Scott. They have like a lot more of like the trendier kind of health and beauty, and they've been really good to work with. We also go through Burt's Bees directly. And then I'm not sure who Steve works with.
Like ICM, I believe
Yeah.
is a larger. Yeah, there were some
larger
distributors that have kind of closed or moved, and so I know health and beauty and supplies have been a little tricky the last couple of months with some moving around. But ICM, I think, has been successful for us to get like a broad range of products.
Yeah.
And
And that's just your standard like Head and Shoulders type
Right.
stuff,
Yes,
Yeah.
Tylenol, they kind of have all that kind of stuff.
And I get a few things through ICM, but I find them to be very pricey. And almost all of my health and beauty, I go to the dollar store. Walmart, often I can get Walmart to deliver. So, to me, I'm providing a service there rather than a real profit center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've done Walmart too, but we also use Merchandise Inc. to get some of the smaller packaged medicines, so it's at least a little bit less expensive. But
Yeah, we use Merchandise Inc. as well. We were using a company for medicines, Rochester Drug Company, kind of in central New York. But unfortunately, through this pandemic, they went out of business. but the difference between their pricing and ICM and Merchandise Inc. was,
Yeah.
it was crazy low. And but that might be part of the reason they went out of business too. But we took advantage of it for as long as we could.
And I just find their prices so high.
Who's that?
Merchandise Inc. That's what I've been using.
It's not just the high prices, it's the minimums. For many of us, that's too much. So we have been using Dollar Tree. We have a account with them. They deliver to the store. Walmart will deliver to the store. Amazon. If you can find a good price there for the smaller quantities that we need, we can go there. But we find that in many cases, the minimums for ICM or a few other places we've been to, just it's too much for our store.
No, that's good to know. I mean, I haven't heard of using Dollar General or Walmart basically as your, I guess, your vendor. So we've got both of those. It could be an option for us as well, especially if there's that big a difference between the price you're paying and, say, our standard vendors.
Well, Dollar Tree, I think, is the one that everything is $1.
Okay.
So we just
Dollar
carry
General.
the smaller items in our store because we have limited space to display them anyway. And we look at ourselves as just an interim step for the students. They can go to a store another time. Normally, they could go to a store another time. So we would just carry the smaller sizes of things.
I mean, besides just talking about product and whatnot, I mean, I know everybody's different based on their size and where they are regionally. I'm getting back to pandemic talk. I know we're probably talked out, but it's still a big factor for us finishing up this fall semester and going into the spring semester. It might be even a larger factor going into the spring semester. But any major changes other major changes that you guys have just done in general in your stores? Because I know we've looked at different options. Like, we never did curbside, so we're doing curbside now for our customers. We're limited on our occupancy. We have an enter and an exit doorway in our main store, which we've never had to have before. Just interested to hear what other stores are doing to, I guess, follow their state guidelines and their university guidelines.
We're limited to 5 customers at a time in our store. Obviously, that's much smaller than many of you, but because of that capacity issue, we've done quite a bit of dorm delivery. We're able to do dorm delivery to the students, and that's helped. Parents can place an order for something the student might want and have it delivered to the dorm, or the student could do it themselves if they want. We also have done traditionally we've done a lot of team orders or gear orders for teams, and we've had to move that to an online platform this year because we don't have the students getting together as frequently, and we don't have them coming in the store as much. So in order to get those orders to go through, we've been doing them online.
We just, I only let 2 in at a time in my store. But fall was really slow. But we just also, I just built a whole new e-commerce site. That's the first time we've had it. We bought into BigCommerce. So we had the platform, but I've been doing basically all the work myself. So that's kind of exciting for us because now we actually have another way of hopefully getting some revenue in. I mean, because I'm lucky if I see 1 or 2 students a day, if that. We cut our hours. My hours are 11 to 4:30, Monday through Thursday. I work from home on Fridays because it's not worth even being here. So it's been rough that way. getting fall books out was a little rough. So, you know, but we're hoping. I'm doing a Halloween sale Friday through Monday, just online, 10% off. And if they do pick up in store, they're going to get a surprise gift. Probably a pair of sunglasses or a koozie, but at least it's something. Save me from packing it up and shipping it is what I'm hoping, because we haven't quite gotten the shipping down. So it's been a learning experience for me. So if anybody has any tips on a website, that would be great. But we, you know, with that, we have a new POS system. So that's been wonderful, because as you know, for years, I've just been dealing with a cash register. So for me, it's like heaven. So, but that's kind of how, you know, our sales have really dramatically dropped, because most of our students are off campus and we don't have any dorms. So we really don't have, unless they're coming on campus to use the library or something, we don't really have students on campus right now. You know, maybe for some labs and stuff, but they're not hanging out. So it's been tough. So I have to really think outside the box. So, you know, but we'll see. So that's kind of how we're dealing with it. Go ahead.
Do you mind me asking what POS system you moved to? Because you said you're doing textbooks too, still?
Yeah, we're still doing textbooks, and actually the textbook, that's a little hard. It's actually, it was Springboard, and then Springboard was bought out by Heartland Retail. So it's more of a general merchandise type of a POS system. The major ones like MBS, they were just way too expensive for us. So we went with Springboard, Heartland, and so far I love it. They have an integration with BigCommerce. So I put all my inventory into Heartland and push it up to BigCommerce, and it works. Heartland had, you know, their support and their onboarding. The one that I was partnered with is still with me, even though she was supposed to drop me as soon as we onboarded, but she likes me. So she's been really helping me out a lot. So that's, you know, it's been good that way. But I would recommend it for any small store, especially if you don't have textbooks. But textbooks, it's doable on it. The only problem is if they want to rent a textbook, they still have to come into the store, because I can't have too many prices for one book. So that's a little difficult. But so far, you know, ask me it after rentals are due back how I like it. So, but so far I'm you know, enjoying it. It's been good for me. A lot of work, but you know, it was a rough fall. Yeah. I didn't get faculty adoptions until July 31st or 30th.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was tough.
Has anybody been doing anything new to try to drive traffic to the stores? I mean, because I know through this past spring and dealing with all this pandemic, like we had no commencement on campus, so there goes all that foot traffic. We had no homecoming this fall, so there goes all that foot traffic. We didn't have any reunion, so there goes all that foot traffic. So I don't know if you've been trying to do other of kind of your own events that aren't so, I guess, driven by the university itself, because we still did our National Student Day this fall, which is obviously just like a store event, and we did fairly well with that and we offered it online for the first time this year versus just being an in-store event like we've done in years past.
how did that work? Did you have enough room for people? Were you lining people up to get in, or?
We have an occupancy max at 100. So obviously, if we're at that max, people are lining up outside the store to come in. But it did generate some sales in store because our main store has been a ghost town. So we did see some uptick in traffic, but it mainly came from online sales for that.
We just did a Halloween promotion, like a little gift pack, and we put it out this year that they can pick it up in the Union, the students that are on campus. But we only have the freshmen on campus plus another 200 students. We only have like 700 students on campus, but still most of them are doing remote learning or hybrid learning right now. And everyone else is remote. So we had to reach out, and find ways to get to the other students as well. So we've been doing our MailChimp, we've been trying not to overdo it and do it like every other week or something and coordinate that with, like, we had family weekend, but of course no one could come on campus. So we partnered with the events office and did our regular, spend $75, get a free family weekend tote bag. The Halloween gift sets, we put like a little polar bear and candy and some stickers and some fun things. And the students, we're going to do the distribution this Friday for them. And we had it, but you could pre-order. And so the parents, and we did it for students to mail too. We did 79 of them. So that wasn't too bad for just a starting point. And it got people to our site. And then the other thing that we just did, we partnered with the Museum of Art. They usually have a poster sale, and they were wondering how they were going to do it. So we said, well, why don't we help you out with that? And they gave us a commission off of it. And we took all their old posters and we put them on our site, and then she advertised and so did we. And we sold 63 posters, and that was really good. And it got a lot of people over to our site as well. And then one last thing that we've tried that's worked pretty well when you talk about inventory, we're looking at some of the categories or some of the items that we have that we were like, wow, we still have a lot of that particular sweatshirt. And we've done like one box on our front page as our weekly special. And we're keeping it just to one item, on that special. I mean, we still have all of our other specials, but we're doing the one thing, and that's worked out real well. So far, we just started that like 3 weeks ago. I found that idea from somebody else here. I can't remember who, but I was like, wow, I'm going to try that and see how it works. And that's been pretty good too. So those are some things we've been doing. And our mail center has been wonderful because they're in our building, and it is a ghost town for us too. Nobody's allowed on campus. So whenever we do anything online, like the Halloween things, we actually work with the mail center, and we actually go in and we know how to do their systems. And so we label everything there, and then they send out the email to the student to come and pick it up. And then they pick it up right in our building, which also gets them upstairs to go to the store as well. So.
Yeah, that's nice. Any way to drive traffic is always a good thing, even if it is very limited at this time.
We're doing a trick or treat promo this week for Halloween where we do the drawing so that it's not a bunch of hands in the same basket, but they can draw either a treat, which will be a certain % off their whole purchase, or a giveaway, or a trick, obviously is nothing. So that's brought in a few more people this week. The trick is catching them before they're going to make the purchase they were going to make already to drive extra sales. But that's been kind of a fun thing this week. And then we traditionally have a pre-Black Friday sale the week before everyone goes home, which is huge for us. We do it late at night, only for an hour. And it's the one time most everything in the store is on sale, including our convenience area. So we're working on how that will look this year with a 50 capacity at group gatherings for New York State, but possibly doing it in 2 different locations in the same building. But I'm curious if anybody else is doing anything for Black Friday and what that looks like for you this year.
We before Black Friday, we did an event called Apple Fest earlier this month, and we made up these little tickets, and students would have to go to different spots in our store. So to our convenience store, our cafe, the textbook department, the tech store, and then the main bookstore. And there were freebies in each location. So we had apple cider in the cafe, and we had cider donuts and fresh apples from the Hort farm. And they'd get a stamp on their ticket. And then when they got all their stamps, they could come to the customer service counter, redeem their ticket as a raffle prize, or entered for a raffle prize. And then they could play Plinko. We made up a Plinko board, and they could drop ping pong balls down it and win other prizes as well too. Discounts at the bookstore, candy apples, other kinds of candy as well too, just small things. But we're hearing from students especially that there's not a lot to do. Most of the time they're stuck in their rooms for classes, and classes are kind of sporadic, and they're not allowed to socialize like they normally did. So we had a excellent turnout for that event through the day. We ran out of pretty much everything. We underestimated what we would need, but it was just something fun for the students to do. There wasn't a buy involved in it necessarily. It was just to get them into the bookstore. And for our freshmen, a lot of them had never been into the bookstore. They didn't get to tour back in the spring semester. They didn't come for orientation. They ordered their textbooks online, so they didn't know what we had in the store in a lot of cases. So it was good to move them through the different parts of the store and say, oh, look, the books are actually here. And oh, we have this cafe here as well too. So that turned out to be a very successful event for us. And it involved all areas of the store, where traditionally our promotions are kind of limited to GM or tech related things. So it got other people in the store involved too. So it was good for staff and for our students.
Brendan, that sounds like a great idea. We've talked about Plinko, doing some type of Plinko for a while now, but you built your own Plinko board?
Yeah, so the idea started with our convenience store manager, Veronica, and she actually had her husband, grab some pegboard from the hardware store or whatever, and he built a candy red apple Plinko board for us. And we had just our little UVM ping pong balls that we ran down it, and it worked out really well. Everybody had such a fun time with that.
That's awesome. No, we gotta do something. I don't know if we have anybody handy spouses or not on our. Oh, Jennifer's got a handy husband. Maybe he can make us a Plinko board.
I'll send you the specs, Jen.
Send me a message after this and be like, get mad on a Plinko board.
Yep. That's some old school Price is right there, the Plinko board.
My husband's the tech director for the theater. How many people do you want me to sign up for him to make them?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you could start a side business very easily, Sandra, because I think they're expensive online. I did look for them before, but they're not cheap, I don't think. I think for Black Friday, because we normally start ours maybe a week before tradition, like our, Black Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, but we're starting our Black Friday promotions next week because our students are leaving about the mid-November time, and we really wanted to, get some of their sales too before they leave for the holiday break, because they're not coming back after Thanksgiving. They'll have about 2 weeks, I believe, of online courses where they'll do their finals and everything online. And Jennifer came up because we were worried, with having a month long, basically, of Black Friday, that it would kind of lose its steam kind of towards the end. But Jennifer came up with a good idea where we're introducing new products to the Black Friday promotions every Thursday or Friday. So it kind of keeps customers coming back and trying to search, looking at the different Black Friday promotions. And we buy product specific from vendors for just Black Friday, because we want to offer the customer a great deal, but we also want to make some margin on the products as well. So Jennifer kind of, reaches out to all of our vendors and asks them for like their red tag lists or styles that they're looking to get rid of. And she just kind of goes through those and picks out items that are going to work for us. A lot of the time you get from vendors that, sizing's broken and whatnot, but depending on who you ask, we normally get some really, really good deals that we can, carry on to the customer. So.
Jim, with your promotions for Black Friday, are you announcing them through email, or is that on social media, or how are you letting them know about the new items, or is it just on the website?
We do both. We'll have a landing page, a specific landing page on our website for our Black Friday promotions. And then through social media, we'll highlight that page, and we'll most likely highlight certain products too, instead of just the general announcement. And then we do major email blasts as well to all of our customers, including alums, students, parents, whoever we have in our system to hit up, faculty and staff. So, and it's been successful in the past, and just with everything that I've been reading, between like articles from the National Retail Federation and just general articles from, I think, Forbes or something, just the increase that we're going to see with online shopping in general is going to be huge. So we've put a lot of time and energy into kind of getting staff, kind of transitioning some staff that would normally be working on our sales floor. We're not seeing the traffic there, so we want to utilize the staff in different areas. So we've moved a lot of staff over to help with order fulfillment. Some have helped with getting photos and getting things online. So it's just kind of changing, your typical business structure from top to bottom, all the way down. So
I just want to let everyone know that Brendan sent me a photo of the Plinko board, and I have forwarded it to everybody who signed up for the call. So
that's great.
Sandy, make sure you take that home, or you are home. So make sure you show it around.
We're expecting a similar kind of surge in web orders. So we created this kind of season of savings. So normally we do an end of the semester sale in the second week of December, and usually something over the Thanksgiving recess as well too, but we've pushed everything earlier. So now we have a sale that's going to start in about a week and a half, a big sale, while the students are still here so they can take advantage of it. Parents can place orders for pickup at the store or delivery to residence halls, and the students can take it home with them. And we're doing one over the Thanksgiving kind of Black Friday through Cyber Monday period. And then we're doing another one in early December. After the students leave, the university is restricting access to campus. So for the first 2 weeks of December, the store will only be open to affiliates, so faculty, staff, students that might be around. And then after December 11th, we are going to be closed to all in-person shopping. Our store down on Church Street, our remote location, will be open for normal business, but on campus, we're going to be closed. So we've got one sale timed for that last week while faculty and staff might still be around before everyone kind of disperses for the holidays. And likewise, we're pulling people from our convenience store and our cafe that are going to be shut down after the students leave, and kind of retooling them to either staff the register so we can free up that staff to help us with processing web orders and fulfillment, or just shifting people around other ways as well too, from the textbook department during their slow period to retool them to help us with the expected surge. We've set up 2 new shipping stations so we can have 3 people processing orders for shipment out at any one time. We've also kind of spent a lot of time overhauling our website, reorganizing where everything lays out, breaking out apparel into smaller categories so it's easier to shop. Whole new section on gifts that are broken out better as well too. And then, we've just added a lot more product as well too, especially in the supply area too, art supplies especially. So we're reorganizing all that to make it easier, as well as, kind of pushing people to shop during those sales periods. We normally don't advertise sales too far in advance of when they're happening, but we're telling people these are the days you want to shop, expecting there to be that surge, and wanting everyone to have at least one opportunity to take advantage of a sale.
Yeah. Brandon, you said you're closing your main store down December 11th. When do you plan to reopen?
So classes start February 1st. Students will start returning to campus right after MLK Day for in-person kind of isolation or quarantine. So we haven't got a clear answer from the administration about when we might reopen more broadly. The provost's last email came as a surprise to us. That we weren't even aware that they were going to kind of clamp down after Thanksgiving like that. So probably mid-January, we expect to kind of reopen to campus affiliates, and then the weekend that most students might be coming back to campus will be back open kind of like normal, like they had for this semester.
Yeah, because I know after students leave, we're reducing our hours in our main store because it's already a ghost town, and it's going to probably get worse once the students leave. But we've made the decision not to fully close, because I think during that time, during that month of January, we're going to use a lot of our sales floor. We're going to reset our floor again, you know, keep it interesting, move big departments around, big categories around, just to try to mix it up for the spring.
Yep, we'll be here. Most staff will be here working until the 23rd of December. That's sort of the last official open day before the holiday. And then we start back up January 4th. And like you, Jim, we'll use that early part of January to shift folks again to help with textbooks that are incoming. We've been doing a lot of, because all of our art classes are being taught remotely too, we've had to assemble kits for all the students. So we've taken over we'll take over the cafe space where there are no customers, lay out all the supplies, build the kits down there for shipment or pickup, and then kind of change things around from the main sales floor to allow for more social distancing and space for when we do reopen for students, because we have about 100 students that can come into the store at any one time, and we need to have clearly defined lines for them to stand in, to go downstairs to get textbooks or to pay as well too. So we have to push all the fixtures around.
Yeah.
Has anybody tried, I saw from Paula's pics there, or Paula's presentation yesterday, the big banners for commencement, that the lawn signs. And if you have, and if you've sold them in your store, or you've done them before, how did it go and who do you get them from?
We did lawn signs this past spring for class of 2020 grads, and they were phenomenally successful. We actually used our print and mail center on campus to do the printing. They have large format printers, so they could source the material and print them for us, and then we would mail them out to people. That was the hardest part. The actual, the lawn signs are like 18 by 24 inches, and they have the stakes with them as well too. So packaging them up as part of an order was the most difficult part. But we went through, a couple hundred of those. And then we created a new one for incoming students for high school graduations that were more specific to class of 2024 members that were going to be coming to campus.
That's good. Yeah,
I had the Masso.
I'm sorry,
Cindy. Sorry, I had the Masso, Cindy. I got mine from CDI Color Shock. They had a whole graduation kit you could buy, and I will agree with Brendan. They're a pain to ship out. There's ones from CDI do have their legs taped to the back so they don't stick out, but they still are oversized, and shipping them out was interesting, but they did sell good.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Cindy, we had he's not a senior anymore, but he graduated from high school in Cumberland, and a local vendor in Yarmouth did signs for people who wanted to buy them. And then because it was such a crappy graduation year, the high school, or one of the athletic boosters, ended up ordering like 200 signs for his class too. So there are people locally that are doing it, and they were really nice. But I agree, the mailing would be such a pain.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
We ended up buying just plain sheets of cardboard, which are like 24 by 36. And we'd take a sheet of newsprint and wrap the sign in the newsprint and then tape it down to the cardboard, and then just sandwich 2 sheets of cardboard together, tape all the edges, and send it by US mail. It was the only way we could figure out to do it. And of course, a lot of people were ordering other things with the lawn signs too. So most cases we had to do 2 separate packages, but flat things we were able to kind of tuck inside the lawn sign. If they ordered balloons or decals or whatever, those could go in there as well too. But yeah, it was labor intensive again to do it, but we felt it was worth it for helping.
What was the margin on that?
It was probably about 30% by the time we were all sort of, said and done. We were retailing them for $17.95, somewhere in that range, under $20. And we got a good deal from using our print and mail center. We checked with CDI, and we looked at, the local FedEx store as well too, and their prices were bad by comparison. So it made sense to do it in-house.
Okay. Cool.
Has there been any categories like during this pandemic that you felt have kind of increased? Because obviously, I mean, we've been selling a lot of masks. I'm assuming most stores did some type of their own mask as well, but we've also done a lot of water bottles and stuff still, you know, so I don't know if you've seen an increase in any categories through the pandemic.
Deerfield's cafes have been closed, so we've actually been selling a lot more candy to the students. Candy and gum.
Gotta have candy.
Right.
I know I've been eating a lot more of it. Masks have been the big seller for us as well too. The university provided every student with 3 masks, which they sourced through us. So that was 60,000 masks right there. Then they did faculty staff masks as well too, which they did for us. We're doing another round for the spring semester. And on each of those orders, we tagged on extra that we were just selling to the general public. So we've sold, I think, over 100,000 masks so far to various groups on campus or just to the general public as well too. And we had some really aggressive pricing. Our prices are less than what I'm seeing other stores sell theirs for too. Most of ours are retailing for $3.95 to $5.95 each. And we're still making a very good margin on those as well too, but it helps to convince people to buy maybe 2 or 3 as opposed to just 1. So we're doing a good volume business on masks.
Brandon, where did you order your masks from?
We've gotten them from Logo Brand. That was a 2-ply mask, and those were costing us $1.40 each, and fully sublimated front on them. And then the other ones we've been getting from League, which is a 3-ply mask, has a kind of an upgraded ear loop on it, and it has the pleating on the front. And those are like $225, $250, somewhere in that range as well too. So those have been the 2 we have done. We've just picked up a new one from Neal Enterprises with the Julia Gash design for our campus. That line has done really well for us. It was introduced this fall, this summer. So we're trying that mask as well too.
Did anybody out there get masks from All Star Dogs by any chance? Not for your dog, but for people. They sold masks.
No.
Yep, we saw that, but we did not order them. This is where we get our pet supplies, not face masks.
Well, they had a good price. They had a good price. They weren't bad, but they came in and they were huge. Like they were way too big for. It was like I was really upset with them. So I want to try somewhere else because I don't sell them. That was they got them in and they were giving them to everybody, but they're almost not even usable unless you, like, I had somebody and she redid mine. So she put more stuff, she redid it and it works, but their original ones were just too big. So any suggestions? I mean, it's just a bummer.
I'd reach back out to All Star Dogs and see if, it was just a weird production kind of fluke, or that's the actual sizing of them. Maybe they can work with you on a refund or a credit or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim, there was a question in the chat from Gail about your PPE bundle.
You wanted to know where you got them in retail?
We did that kind of similar to what Brendan did. We bought those from Neal Enterprises. So they included, Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 2 masks, a little thing of hand sanitizer, a thermometer, a no-touch key tool, and I think that's, and we included a coupon for another purchase because the university had we ordered 30,000 through Neal, and the university had bought those from us, through us, and they were giving them out at different locations, including the store. We gave out a lot there. And then starting out when they were first bringing students back, they were giving them out all at the testing locations, because when we brought students back, they had to sign up for tests before they could enter campus, be on campus. So they did very well. I think we've got about 8,000 maybe, Jennifer, left over that we're gonna use again for the spring. So when the students come back in the spring, because I'm sure they'll forget their masks, but they gave us, they worked with us on pricing, and we were surprised that they were able to source a thermometer, because at that time when we ordered them, thermometers were hard to come by. So.
Jim, I'm wondering about the quality of the mask. I mean, I probably won't be doing those at this point, but I brought in a couple kits, and I can't remember if it was Spirit or Neil. I got a million samples over the summer, but one of the kits, the mask was like so thin, and I was worried that it wasn't really what we're recommending.
I think the ones through, and Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, the ones through Neil were 2-ply. It was like a 2-ply polyester, or maybe a cotton interior and a polyester exterior. But we had no complaints from people that I know of back on the mask, and it seems like everybody was happy. I'm not happy to see that they wear them upside down sometimes, so the C looks backwards, because we just put a block C. Kind of drives me nuts. I'm like, you can't put your mask on right so the block C looks so you can read the block C. But no, they were good. And one mask that we brought in particular, and it was one of the first ones we got in, that just has a really good fit. And this might be Mary, this might go back to your question, is Jardine, because it gives really good coverage over the nose, and then it has like a chin panel that kind of covers your chin too. We've had a lot of good feedback on that, and a lot of our staff have told us that that has been their preference to wear, because especially if they're wearing them all day, they don't tend to tug on the ears too bad.
And that was from Jardine?
Yeah, so Mike Pillsbury.
Have you been able to get in touch with Mike or Kim lately?
Have we, John?
Kim's been responding to my emails, no problem.
Yeah, she's been in touch with me through
is who we
email
talk
too.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
Not mine at
email
all.
Kim.
I haven't. No, I've been emailing her about web images and
Her web, I know that they sometimes have changed their email. They've had I know Mike always just had multiple email addresses, so perhaps maybe it's not the most updated address. I can send you, I can send Robin.
yeah, I mean, I've been emailing them and sending them messages about web images and different things, and I haven't gotten.
Which companies, Mary, for the web images? Because I've had a couple of the Jardine repped companies. They're getting kind of slow on web images, and I know they're all. Well, I've been told anyway that they're kind of working from home with reduced staffing, and they're busier than normal, so it's taking longer to get things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've heard that as well, that they're doing work from home, or they're only working partial days, so they're not always in the office every day. I'm gonna email Kim and copy you, Mary, and say that you'd like to actually hear from her. So
Well, yeah.
I mean
well, we also bought into their captain's chair, at and NEBC. We got their $100, and I asked for them to send me the information so I could put it up on our website, because you don't actually carry the product, and I haven't heard anything. So, oh well, just curious. Thank you.
Yep.
Well, I think we're almost at time. Does anybody have any other general questions they wanted to ask while we have all this group here and some face-to-face time? I'm really disappointed that we're not actually able to meet face-to-face this fall, but it's for the best for everybody, I guess.
I had a crazy idea, which I probably won't implement, but we're so small and our store hasn't been open for shopping. I went in Tuesday night for some boarders. We finally decided to let kids come in dorm by dorm in small groups. And as usual, the boys were better shoppers than the girls. It's so funny how that works at my school. But I've been delivering online orders to kids at school, and I have to look at their academic schedules. I have to figure out where they are and bring them their stuff. And there was one day where I brought something to a girl in her room, her classroom, and then I went back to the store and I realized I had another delivery for a kid who was also in that class. So I went back, and all the other kids were like, "I want a bag." I want a delivery, you know? And it got me thinking, like, I mean, I always, with this age group, you know, we really don't want to push them to spend money. I mean, they're young. But I had this crazy idea, and as I say, I would never do it, but of like being like the Easter bunny that like delivers, you know, bags to kids. Like, I don't know if anyone else is doing that, but I was trying to think of like something in school spirit, colors, like what could I wear or do to just like, I know that's crazy. Did any, I guess most people aren't hand delivering orders. But I thought there could be something that I could do that would be cute, not stupid. That just might make it a little fun.
I don't think we've done anything like that, but you have to come up with creative ideas. And I think right now students need a little bit of fun. So I think that would be a good idea to look at. So however you think about doing it or executing that, definitely let us know. And you're lucky that you can do that right to the classrooms. There's no way we'd be able to do that here.
Yeah, we're one building more or less.
So we
Yeah,
don't
they
have a
won't even give us
mascot
access
yet,
to the
but
dorms.
if you had a mascot costume, you could.
Oh
use
my
that.
God. So Freddie the Falcon, even though we don't have a custom mascot, we are the Falcons, and there is a costume, but I think that would be a little too disruptive during the academic day. I think it would have to be something a little more understated. I don't know, but that's a good idea.
Okay. Well, I think we're at time. I'd like to say I'll see everybody out for drinks later tonight, but well, we do have our social hour, right?
We do have our social hour, and I'm told the tables will be named after drinks and hors d'oeuvres. So as long as you bring your own drink, we could be there for drinks.
True.
Okay. And hopefully we'll see everyone next fall.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Everybody.
Bye. Bye. Thanks.
Bye.